how's your week? How's everything been going? Like, seriously, I've missed you lot, honestly. I was so tempted to put a video out, like, in a week advance, and I thought, you know what, I actually got to stick to my commitments and do that every 2 weeks. But how are you guys doing? Probably thinking, oh my days, who's that guy in the corner looking dapper? See that trick there? But I'm gonna introduce you to him. So over to you.
Hi.
So this is Raphael.
Hello everyone, my name is Raphael Dapaah. I'm the Managing Director and co-founder of the Dapaah Group. We are a social enterprise on a mission to empower and promote Africa and the diaspora.
Great, you see, look at the way he talks. It sounds even dapper, you know. Look at the way he talks. He's actually, you're is it 1/3 or one out of the group?
Oh, well, I founded the group myself, and then I recruited my family members. So my younger brother, he's our co-founder and financial director, handles the books, and my younger sister, Afia Valerie, she's our social media manager and call her a secretary, but she goes beyond her duties. So there's 3 of us in total.
Wow, so it's a family business.
Family affair.
A very family business. I'm gonna put their links and everything down below in the description below, so make sure you do follow them. But we're finding out so much about Dapaah Group and exactly what they do. And let's get into it so you can get to know Mr. Raphael Dapaah and about what he does and any events that he's at and the things that he's doing. The main thing to do is just support. Okay, so Raphael, if you can just tell our viewers just a basic bit about you, what you do, how old you are, and yeah.
Okay, what do I do? So, day job wise, professionally, I'm a government advisor. I've worked in the past for the Department of Business Innovation and Skills as a civil servant, advising the government on policy affairs relating to the economy, how to support small and medium-sized enterprises, startup businesses, and to foster a climate of growth, innovation and prosperity in the UK. I now advise MPs on their business costs and expenses, so that's for an independent department, but still working closely with government. And ultimately, I'm hoping to take my political experience to Ghana and Africa in a wider capacity as an ambassador.
Right. So when growing up, did you always want to be in politics, in government? Was that what you aspired to do, or?
Growing up, I wanted to be a businessman.
Okay.
I always knew that I had an entrepreneurial streak about me. I grew up in Peckham, and you can't grow up in Peckham without being surrounded by hustlers and people who are business-minded.
He's from the ends.
I'm from the end, South London, born and raised. So because of that, I always had an entrepreneurial streak about me. But it's only later down the line I started really trying to discover how I could impact people in a positive way. And one of the ways I saw I could do that was via politics. So the first thing I started doing was I started working with the Labour Party.
Okay.
Prior to the 2015 general election.
Okay.
So I was an activist campaigning for Labour to come into government. So that was my first real taste of political activism and campaigning and what have you, and I got a real taste for it. And that led me to gain government experience and working in the field. But I think for me, my thing is I want to empower people. I want to improve the lives of others. And for me, you can do one or two things. Well, you can do a lot of things, but for me, you can either do that through decision making, policy making, or you can do that via business, employing people, empowering them, giving them a livelihood. So what I do now is, as a social entrepreneur, I try to do both. I try to have a social impact on people, improve their lives, but I do that via business.
Okay.
So that's what we're all about as social entrepreneurs, transforming the lives of others via business.
Okay. You heard it first. You saw Mr. Raphael Dapaah here first, Right. So in terms of doing stuff like that, what did you study in uni?
So I studied history and politics.
Okay.
So history, I've always loved history. That's always been my strength.
Any history, or was it a particular history you're interested in?
So growing up, it was general history. So when I was younger, used to read a lot.
Okay.
Egyptology, the ancient Greeks, the Romans. That was my first real insight into history.
Yeah.
Horrible histories as everyone had when they were younger.
Yeah, they did.
And then reading more into African history, the history of civilization, just British history naturally, and it's history in a general sense. But I've always just loved the study of the past and seeing how it impacts the future. And so that was something I had to study at university. But prior to that, I actually wanted to study law.
Oh.
So typical African traditional career aspiration: be a lawyer, make your family proud. But 3 days before I was supposed to go to university, I was supposed to go to the University of Birmingham to study law. I decided it wasn't for me. My heart wasn't in it. And I'm the type of person, if I'm not passionate about something, I just can't do it. I can't betray myself like that.
Yeah.
So I decided to take a gap year to work out what I really wanted to do, what I'm passionate about, and that brought me back to history. But then I thought, let me throw something practical there. So politics was added to that sort of thing, and haven't looked back since. So history and politics, and here we are now.
Wow. I see. Okay. So studying the history and politics, and that got you to exactly where you wanted to get to. Well, kind of opened the doors.
Yeah, opened the doors, yeah. I'm still working out where I really want to get to. I mean, I've got the direction. I know I want to do something that empowers people.
Okay.
As I've grown and mature, I've decided who exactly I want to empower, and that's been narrowed down to people from my community, those from who are living in the continent, Africa, and those across the diaspora, whether that's in the UK, whether that's in America, whether that's in the Caribbean, empowering our community, essentially.
Good. I like that. I like the way you've come across where you want to empower, not just in Africa, but everywhere else, and just empowering people in general, because I feel empowering people is very, very important. It's something that can help one person grow into an army, and it can just spread everywhere else. And that's something that drew me to the Dapaah group, of how they're empowering people and how they're just spreading the wild news. I even saw on Instagram you put something up about an African mogul. Yes. And that really drawn to me, because I didn't even know who that was, number one. And number two, when I actually read about the information, it was so great to know about certain people that maybe I didn't know, and I'm sure a lot of people didn't know, but it was information that was able to read and information that was accessible. And do check out their Instagram. They do put a lot of interesting stuff on there. I wanted to move to, there's something they're doing that Dapaah group they're doing, and they have done, that hasn't been done yet before. Well, I haven't seen it anyway, so I'm going to class it that hasn't been done anyway. And I've been ranting and raving about it to family and friends and so forth. And some of them are just like, Abigail, I don't get it. Are you sure? And I'm like, yes, check out the Instagram. Raphael and his siblings, they have come out with Dapaah chocolates. Now, it's not on sale, I believe, for everyone. They're just doing it to promote their business and doing it for smaller business, for events and so forth. So how did that come about? Like Dapaah chocolates, how did that go about?
I hail from Ghana, West Africa, and Ghana is the second largest producer of cocoa in the world.
What was the first one?
Cote d'Ivoire. Okay. So our neighbours around the corner.
Yeah, they're our neighbours.
Exactly. They produce.
Shout out to people in Ivory Coast. I've got some family there.
Bonjour tous. So it was a thing whereby, knowing that Ghana produce up to 20% of the world's supply of cocoa, and yet they only receive about 2% of the annual chocolate industry, the money that's drawn from that, which is $100 billion, I felt as though we weren't getting value for our money. We weren't getting our worth, and that really irked me. So I thought that, given our contribution to the global chocolate industry, we don't have a global chocolate brand, not that I've come across, and I thought it was about time we added value to our natural resources, we got our worth, and we developed a brand that everyone knew. Because when people think of chocolate, they think of Belgian chocolate, Swiss chocolate, French chocolate, American chocolate, British chocolate. You never think of an African chocolate brand.
Yeah, that's true.
And
yeah, absolutely.
all the cocoa beans are grown in our continent. It does not add up. So that was the motivation, part of our mission to empower our people and promote us as a people. Develop our self-esteem, our self-determination. So that's what it came about. I think the vegan aspect of it was more directed by my younger brother, who's very socially conscious, he's a very spiritual person. He wants to, empower the world in ways that a lot of us don't consider. Not eating meat, so on and so forth.
He doesn't eat meat.
Yeah, for ethical reasons as well as health reasons.
Okay.
So he directed that initiative because originally I was just going to make chocolate for everyone. My thing was add value to our raw materials. That's the most important thing. He then said, no, we need to target the vegan community because they're on the come up, they're on the rise. And sooner or later, people are going to become more vegan, if not in lifestyle, at least in the eating habits. Down the line, if not today, down the line. So he had the vision to say we need to address that, and also the fact that a lot of the vegan chocolate that is produced today tastes like chalk. It's subpar.
Well, a vegan is someone who doesn't eat meat and
so if
fish
they don't eat meat, animal products like dairy, so on and so forth, eggs, and they have a plant-based diet. They take all of their protein, all of their nutrients from.
And there's an actual vegan. I haven't come across any vegan chocolate.
There are a few, of course, vegan chocolate brands. More known within, because it's quite a niche product, it's more known within that community, not everyone else would know about it. But the products that are out there, in my personal opinion and professional opinion, I don't like them at all. As someone who enjoys chocolate, I would never eat that. And I saw that challenge as an opportunity. If we can make a vegan chocolate that everyone could enjoy, then we're on to a winner. So it's not just about making a chocolate that everyone enjoys. That's easy. But it's about making a vegan chocolate that people aren't used to and they enjoy. And a lot of the reviews we've received about our chocolate is that most people don't even realise it's vegan until you tell them.
Yeah, because I've been seeing the reviews for myself. Not that I've even tasted chocolate yet. Raphael
Soon.
didn't even bring me some to even taste, to even tell you lot how it tastes.
We've run out of stock. It's been.
He didn't even bring on him our speak to.
Kafra.
Next time when he brings the chocolate, I will do my own review just for YouTube. I'll do it for you lot.
Absolutely.
So you can see
how
it tastes. So when it comes to, so I know obviously the process for you to want to make your own chocolates, it's not an easy one. Did you maybe start by going to Ghana first, or did you do the research? What was your first initial step?
So researching, learning firstly about cocoa beans in its natural form, how it's even made into chocolate, learning about the process, how to get it into this country, what the rules and regulations about that are, and of course just the process of transforming it from the raw cocoa bean to the finished product, because we are in charge of every single part of the process. So from the raw cocoa bean itself to the aspect of cracking the beans, to separating the beans from the husk, the shell of the bean, to grinding the chocolate, to adding the sugar, to adding the key ingredients, until we get the finished product, to moulding it and to packaging it. So we've taken complete control of the supply and the value chain. So, from start to finish, that's all us. What we want to do in future is we want to build a factory in Ghana. So where we have a lot of cocoa farmers there, and we have family who, of course, are cocoa farmers and own vast tracts of land in Ghana. We want to build a factory there that will supply us the cocoa beans, and we can employ the local people to help us in the transformation of the beans to the finished product. So by doing that, we have complete control of the supply chain in Ghana, and it would of course be made in African products. So we're allowing people to become employed, we're creating jobs and opportunities in that capacity, as well as just making sure everything's done locally. Thus, we're not relying on importing products. It's things that we're exporting and we're adding value to our currency by doing that. So that's sort of the incentive behind it all.
Wow, it's for something that's gonna create jobs for people and help with their livelihood. That's absolutely amazing. I'm just like, wow, you know, it takes someone from here to do something back home. Unfortunately, you know, our brothers and sisters back home, sometimes, you know, things can be hard, and sometimes it's easier said than done, and one for themselves. But if we know that we can go and empower and help back home, who's stopping us? We might as well go and do it. So making the beans and so forth. What do you do? Do you mix the sugar and the powder all here in the UK?
Here. So everything we do in our family home, in the kitchen, our plan is to, of course, eventually scale up once we officially launch in 2018. But everything is done here for now.
So you bought the instrument.
We have the equipment, everything that is needed, industrial chocolate equipment to grind and conch the chocolate, the raw beans into the finished product. We're currently working on our design, so at the moment our packaging is like a plain standard sample packaging, but we're working on the packaging that tells a story of our culture and our rich heritage. So the packaging isn't going to be your standard chocolate packaging. It's going to be really artistic, really creative, and it's going to, you know, pertain to our culture, the vibrant colours, the history, so on and so forth. And that's something we're working on. So the minute you see our chocolate, you will know, okay, this is clearly an African brand, because the packaging itself will tell you that straight away. So by doing that, we're transporting our culture, we're promoting our culture and heritage, and I guess we're raising awareness about who we are and showing pride in who we are. So, you know, it's all part of a bigger picture, you know, empowering and promoting our culture, our heritage, and we can do that not only through the actual products, you know, originally from Ghana, from Africa, but the presentation as well. So everything will tell the story of Africa, our heritage and our origins.
So when you get the beans, do you import it from Ghana? You get a certain amount. If you know you're having, because I know right now you're just sampling it out to businesses and you know, certain people. So do you order a certain amount when you know there's a clientele, or how does?
So at the moment, what we've done is we've stocked up on a vast amount of cocoa beans from different areas in across Africa. So at the moment we're working with cocoa beans from Madagascar, which is in Southeast Africa. So we're very conscious of not just being a Ghanaian brand. That's not our incentive. We want to be a Pan-African brand.
Pan-African brand.
Yeah, that's our ideals. We're Pan-African. So going forward, all our beans are going to be sourced from various parts of the continent. We have a contact in Nigeria, we have a contact in Uganda that will supply us with beans. But the bulk of what we do, the bulk of our beans will come from Ghana when we set up the factory there. But we will have beans from all over the place. As things stand now, we have a supplier who, a UK-based supplier who supplies us the beans, and he sources directly from particular regions that we are interested in doing business with. But what we want to do, and we're having a bit of difficulties because of Ghana, they have the Ghana Marketing Board and they control everything involving cocoa. So what we're hoping to do is develop our brand and then negotiate some sort of trade negotiation that would allow us to source directly from Ghana. So at the moment that's a barrier, but it's something we can easily overcome in a year.
Things will change. Just trust in God, and God will open doors. Once you know within your heart that this is exactly what you want and you've prayed about it, no barrier can stop you, not even trade of distance, they can't stop you. Then I feel so proud, like, you know, Raphael's a young guy, you know, like he's a young guy, but at the same time as well, he's doing so much moves that even people older than me cannot do, or choose not to do, because you can do it. But if you choose not to do it and you decide to sit on your backside and not do anything about it, here's a 25-year-old man who's making moves, bringing his family in, he's not being selfish, and he's got good intentions. You know, it's so good to meet people like yourself. So guys, we've got to know about Dapaah chocolates, and we've got to know about the theme on what Dapaah group do and how they empower people, and how you know, they will be very big soon, so please watch out for them. Seriously, there's something about this Dapaah group that I don't know what it is, but I feel like when they explode, and then you lot can come and say, or him I speak said it. I said it, you know. So when they're at the front line, me too, I'll also be sitting there.
Absolutely.
I said it. So I was just, talking Raphael, and I was just like, you know what, us or him I speaks. We want to get to know the real stuff. Because that's how we roll out here, guys. We're not sugarcoating. So I'll say to Raphael, you know what, let's get to know you on the level. Let's get to know Raphael properly. Because obviously everybody sees things on Instagram and whatnot. No, he's not been in no scandals, so don't get excited. And we just wanted to know the real Raphael growing up. And not even growing up, but him personally. Because he's here. We wanted to get to know him and, get to know him as a person. And just how you lot have got to know me, you need to also get to know my viewers on a personal level. And that's what I was telling him. So I'm going to hand it over to him. And, so Raphael, what are the things that you do in your spare time? What's the things that you wish you can do? Because I know behind the scenes we were talking about Raphael. He was saying that he doesn't get to socialise more. So, we're going to get to know things like that. So what is it that, as a young man who's in government and who's in politics and who's got a very hectic schedule, I can imagine, what is the things that maybe you want to do, or the things that you inspire to do for yourself, different away from the business, and Raphael Dapaah as yourself?
I think
Dapaah.
Dapaah.
I have to say it with a Ghanaian accent, because when I say it with a British accent, it sounds like Dapaah. But when it's a Ghanaian accent, it's Dapaah. So it's Dapaah. So just mind the way I say it a bit.
No problem. I think growing up, I was a creative, which might surprise a lot of people because of the profession I'm in and how rigid it tends to be, but I was really good at art. A lot of the people who know me from when I was younger know me for being an artist, and to this day they still ask me, do you still draw? And not just art, anything that involved creativity, so writing, reading, poetry, acting, so on and so forth. So I guess some of the things I still enjoy to do in my spare time involve things like going to the gallery, more so going to African inspired galleries, those that showcase African contemporary art. Of course, reading a lot of things around African literature, history, so on and so forth. I think if I had the time, and it's something I do want to do in the future, I want to write a book.
Oh wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I've always enjoyed writing. It was one of the subjects I was really good at school. I went through a period in school when I was in secondary school where I absolutely bombed in terms of academic performance. So I went to a school in Surrey, a grammar school, like a really selective school. But because I grew up in Peckham, there was a cultural shift I had to adjust to, and I wasn't ready to make that adjustment. So for a long time I really suffered in school in terms of academic performance, but the subjects I always did well in, irrespective of whether I was in my lessons or not, was history and English literature and drama. And to this day, these are kind of themes and subjects that I'm still interested about. As we spoke about earlier, I love history, English literature. Of course, back then it was English literature, so it was just all about English literature. Now, more so, I've discovered and rediscovered African literature, African authors, telling African narratives, so on and so forth. So something I would love to do in my spare time when I get a moment for myself in the future is to write. I'm hoping one day I want to ride a motorbike across the African continent.
Oh wow!
and write a book about my account.
Okay.
Because I read Che Guevara, one of the greatest revolutionaries of all time. He had a book called Motorcycle Diaries, where he basically rode along the span of South America, meeting people along the way and learning their stories, their endeavours, who they were, and it changed his life. It's what made him a revolutionary, because he met these people and he wanted to help them, and that sort of set his journey. So I'd love to do something like that. So writing a book is definitely on my agenda, and it's something I'm trying to do now. Even just when I get inspiration, putting things down on paper, recording it. I might not need it now, but in future I might serve as a point of reference to whatever I end up writing, and maybe go and get involved in art again. I've lost my skills, but I think there's something you can never really lose when you're just naturally good at it. So it just takes practice to get back into it. But I would love to be able to express myself. I'm an expressive person. I don't speak a lot. Most people who know me, I'm really reserved. I'm quite quiet and humble. But when I find something I'm passionate about, I need to express. So I've always found expressing myself through writing or drawing or anything like that is something I really gravitate towards. So yeah, I guess that's what I really enjoy doing in my spare time. But I think I want to get involved in like mentoring people.
Okay.
As I mentioned, I grew up in Peckham. Growing up in Peckham, I was surrounded by nothing and no one but hustlers. We spoke earlier on about the friends I have and so on and so forth, and most of them are and have been in a formal life or in a formal capacity, and that's because that's an environment I grew up in. South London, it literally is do or die.
South London, massive. I'm proud to be from South London. Yes, I am.
100%.
Yes, it shapes you as a person. We've had to, South London is. I'm not gonna say it's different to yes, it is different to the part of London and rest of London. Let me not lie to you. People have this perception of South London. Like when someone says they're from South, they automatically feel like, yeah, South people are hard. Yeah, we are hard. No, I'm joking. But
She's not joking.
We're not joking. We are hard. And sometimes we've had to live with that stigma all our lives, with South London being hard. So how do you expect to come to us and for us not to be hard? Because we have this stigma of South is this, South is that, South is this, South is that. But South London has shaped most of us, and especially entrepreneurial people. It has shaped us to be the people we are today. We've had a lot of, things happening in South London over the years, from the 70s, 80s, 90s and onwards. And, it's something that, we've had to deal with. So our skin is hard. We don't take nonsense, but we love hard. We love people. We are for our people. And that's what I can say about people from South London. And I'm sure Raphael wouldn't disagree. And obviously, him being the person that he is today, he's even given recognition to where he came from. And that's Peckham, So that shows you that the love that you have for South London, even if you move away 10 million years ago, but you lived in South London or you grew up in South London, you always pay homage to South London because it is where it is, isn't it? I
100%.
suppose.
Yeah, 100%. And even just going forward with the business I have, of course, it's been moulded and shaped by my experiences growing up in Peckham, South London, because as I said, there's an entrepreneurial energy there that resides within everyone. Everyone is a hustler in different capacities. Some more involved than others, but everyone has that streak about them. And it's something I've always kept throughout my time, even after moving from South London and moving to like the sticks in Surrey. It's something that's been ingrained in me, and it shapes my business decisions today, my drive, my ethic, my hustle, essentially. And a lot of people who do know me, like close friends and what have you, they know me as hustle because of my work ethic. It's how I've always been addressed by people closest to me. So my background and where I've grown up and where I was raised absolutely shapes who I am today. So I think a lot of people, where they might draw in negativity associated with the area, I only take the positive aspects of it, and it's made me and moulded the person I am today. So of course, big up Peckham every day.
Peckham!
So just running on that theme, it's something my younger brother and I have discussed in terms of our next stage in business. Where we want to take things, and before building our factory back home in Ghana, the first thing we would want to do before that stage is to build like a coffee house, a chocolate house, a boutique, and we want that to be headquartered in Peckham. So where lots of people have been talking about the gentrification of the area, so on and so forth, whilst that is of course a factor to consider, I think you can also see it as a business opportunity.
Peckham is on the up and coming.
It's very much up and coming.
It's up and coming.
And I'm the type of person, I don't like to complain about things. It changes. I'd rather address an issue and try and find a solution to it. So if you feel as though your area is transforming, try and see how you can benefit from that change. One of the things we want to do is to establish our first sort of chocolate house coffee shop in Peckham that will serve as our UK headquarters for distribution of our chocolates and other products we end up introducing. So, Peckham Way returning back.
That's it. I like that. Investing in the area, and you were talking about mentoring, which I do currently. I do a bit of mentoring, guys. I will be putting out the Him on Speaks mentoring group later on in the year. So that's something I told you. I don't say I never told you, But yes, I've been doing mentoring for a good number of years, and I had one or two good mentors. So definitely, you never know. Could be a collaboration one day.
Absolutely.
In terms of you being a young man and relationship-wise, government now, we're talking about a young guy in government and politics. Is it as easy to find, or I don't think Raphael's short of words. Let's be real, right? He can approach a girl. No, I don't doubt that. But how, in terms of relationship-wise with women and so forth, you're a very serious person, and coming across maybe a woman who maybe would understand, because let's not get twisted, a lot of us women, we want time and some of us can't. It was even saying one time in church that us women, sometimes we just like to talk. I like to talk, and the best time that my husband talks to me is when I'm cooking. You stand there and I'm like, so and so did this. And when I was at work, I didn't like that behavior. But he's standing there and he's listening to me, and while I'm cooking or doing some housework, and that's the time he's thinking, yes, I'm going to dedicate all this time to Abigail, because Abigail will pekasa. She wants to talk. Do you know what I mean? And he separates that time. And it's a skill. It's something that, most men haven't grasped, but most men are learning and, will eventually learn. Talk to your wives or your girlfriends while they're, I wouldn't say girlfriends, wives, because your girlfriend shouldn't just be cooking for you anyhow. She's not your wife. Spend that time to talk. But obviously when it's different, when you've got so much businesses and you're very orientated into yourself, and a lot of girls may be thinking they want your time and won't actually get to see it from your point of view, which unfortunately I wouldn't blame it on society now, because it's been happening for a good number of decades and years. It's just you as a person, if you've got understanding for a man and his passion and his drive, you would understand sometimes not all the time will be invested in you. It's a skill that as a woman, when you get, maturer, you'll get to understand. And obviously there's some guys that won't give you attention because they're not doing nothing. So the ones that are not doing nothing, you can say bye to them. But when you've got a gentleman like Raphael, who's actually got multiple businesses and doing things, how does it work?
I guess, my thing's really difficult.
Yeah.
In terms of meeting someone and I guess just really resonating with someone who I guess is understanding, really, because this is very much my baby. It consumes a lot of my time, because when I'm not in my day job, as an advisor in government, I'm literally focusing on my business. It's the first thing I do when I get home. It's what I do on the weekends. It consumes everything, and that's only going to expand. So I think I would need to find someone who absolutely understands that, but not only understands it, lives it, in the sense that they have their own thing they're doing. I think nowadays, this is a bit of a social commentary, but nowadays we find a lot of women aspire to have someone who's self-made or someone who's really, doing well, and that's what they want. That's the model of a perfect husband or spouse. But they might not be doing anything for themselves. They just want to sort of live off or sponge off that person. I couldn't empathise or really support that sort of culture, and I guess it's something that's been prevalent for a long time. But at the same time, it's been challenged by the likes of Michelle Obama. That's someone I always speak about, because I feel as though whoever I settle down with has to be Michelle Obama, someone who motivates me, someone who perhaps has even accomplished more than me in that regard, you know, someone who makes me proud, someone who holds their own, and someone who understands. So I guess for any woman out there, potential, or what have you, you need to work on you, get yourself together before you even approach me or expect me to approach you.
He said it so calmly, but he meant it. Like, you know, when you're thinking, hey, this is serious. Like, you and that's what that's it is what it is. Like, straight, no sugarcoating, no double door sideways and that. Get me just straight. And if that's what you want, that's what you shall get.
Amen.
You know, just be stronghold and don't let these shasha get in your way. You definitely excel. You know, I feel so humbled to have this interview with Raphael, because I've learned a lot from him. I've really learned a lot from him, and just the way he goes about how he does things. He's very clear, concise, and very precise, and even just his manner and how he carries himself. You know, he carries himself very, very well, and you know, even me, I want to be posh too. Sometimes I want to be posh. You know? So I'm gonna be
still
posh.
from South London.
Yeah, he's still from South. He's still from South. But obviously, where he is in life, it's obviously shaped him to do so much. So, guys, we've come to the end of our interview. I really hope you've enjoyed watching our interview with Mr. Raphael Dapaah. We wish you all the best in everything that you do. Seriously, you guys are gonna blow. I can't wait for the world to see how you lot are, because I'm telling you, there's something about you lot that I'm drawn to. I don't know what it is. Sometimes I'm checking, like, hey, they did this, hey, they did that. And you know, one of the people on Instagram that I actually see, and I look forward to their post, because I know it's going to be something that's going to be influential. Some of the stuff I even use, I'm even using it for some of my young people to educate them. So it's something that is helping people, and I wish people would see more about it. As I said, I'm going to put their details in the description down below. So guys, please don't forget to like, put the thumbs up, please. Don't forget to comment, share, social media, WhatsApp, Facebook, Snapchat. My Snapchat's down below. You lot keep adding me, you know. Keep adding me. And don't forget to subscribe. Please press the subscribe button. Also press the bell next to it so you can get notifications, so it comes up as a pop-up message, like when someone WhatsApp you, like, oh, Himar Speaks is on. Yes. And we'll be having a guest list thing, so you know, I can also send things out to people, and we will be having an event very soon. I'll be letting you lot know with the event that we'll be having very soon. But guys, it was a pleasure. And we have to do the shoulder dance, because obviously we can't leave or Himar Speaks without doing the shoulder dance. So Raphael, the shoulder dance, you have to move your shoulders, and then so we see you guys soon.
1, 2, once in a while.
See you lot later, and have a great weekend. Bye.